Good morning and welcome back. It's now 13 minutes after the hour. Democratic candidates in Texas now pushing to decriminalize illegally crossing at the border. But is this just the left pandering for votes?
Beto O'Rourke on the left here, a Democratic Senate candidate who's running against Ted Cruz in what's going to be a pretty tight race, it appears, saying, quote, "These asylum seekers attempt to do what I think any human would do, which is to request asylum in between ports of entry. We should not criminalize that." Here now to weigh in is the Director of Policy Studies at the Center for Immigration Studies, Jessica Vaughan. Jessica, thanks so much for coming back. He says that they're requesting asylum in between ports of entry. Now, for everybody at home, if you go to a port of entry, you get your asylum case and you can plead your case there. Is that really what's happening here, or are these people that just know they don't have much of a case for asylum trying to sneak in?
Well, these are people who have hired criminal smuggling organizations to bring them to the country illegally because they've heard that they will be released into the country without consequences and be able to live here indefinitely and, wait years for a court hearing, and which they may or may not show up to. I mean, to say that this is not going to be criminal anymore, or that it's not going to be illegal to come here illegally anymore, is obviously going to open up a free-for-all at the border if that were to happen. I mean, we already have 12 million illegal residents of this country to the cost of, more than $25 billion a year for taxpayers, and it would only get worse if this were to actually become the policy. I mean, and Texas knows this. They're on, that's ground zero for illegal entry in South Texas right now. And this would only enrich the criminal cartels that make money off of the smuggling trade. And it doesn't make sense at all from a policy point of view. It would be a disaster. We've got to get more border security, not open it up more to people, whether they're claiming asylum or not. He's really kind of romanticizing what's going on here. They're using asylum as a way to get into the country.
Jessica, 323,756 border apprehensions in this year alone. Is this type of messaging that O'Rourke is putting out there going to fly with voters come November? Is this the type of messaging they want?
I don't think so. Probably not in Texas. Not so long ago, border security and immigration enforcement were not really partisan issues, as we've talked on this show about politicians like Chuck Schumer and others who used to know that it was the right thing to say was to say we need more border security because that's what most Americans think we should have. I'm really surprised that Democrats are attacking this way, particularly in Texas, because after all, in those statewide races with the governor and other statewide representatives, they all know that Texans want to see more border security, not less, just like the rest of Americans. And this shouldn't be politicized in this way. And I don't think it's going to work for them. Yeah,
you just saw the three candidates that are pushing for this to be decriminalized. You see the situation in Mexico as that country really has deteriorated in recent years. The quality of life there, the cartels are much more powerful, it would appear. A lot of violence. They say you can't even really go to well, you can, but it's dangerous to go to even Cancun right now, which has always been a safe place. If they do decriminalize this and Mexico completely falls apart, it would be a mass exodus to the north, would it not?
We might see something along the lines of what's happening with Venezuela right now, where Venezuelans are fleeing to every other country that they can get to, including here. Yeah, decriminalizing would send a signal that our borders are open to all, and that really would be a humanitarian disaster and a disaster for our country because it would set off a mass rush for the border. I mean, people do pay attention to our policies in other countries, and the smugglers certainly know our immigration policies better than most Americans, and they would definitely take advantage of this, and it would turn into a disaster, particularly for Texas, because they are right on the front line in this issue.
323,000 apprehensions just this year, and it's only August. It is a huge problem. Jessica, thank you so much.
Thank you.